Episode 1: The Girl at the Tomato Stall. Every morning before the sun fully rose, Tina took her place at the open market. She was a young Liberian woman in her early 20s, black, beautiful, and known for her gentle spirit. With neat braids pulled back and her Ankara blouse glowing in warm colors, Tina arranged her tomatoes carefully on brown paper, one by one, as if each one mattered. The market slowly came alive around her. Wooden stalls creaked open, baskets filled with vegetables appeared, and soft sunlight filtered through the canopies above. Tina sat behind her small table, focused and calm, her hands working steadily. She believed that honest work done with care always carried dignity. As customers passed, Tina greeted them with a gentle smile. Some stopped to buy, others simply nodded in greeting. Even when sales were slow, she never complained. To Tina, every day was a gift, and every tomato sold was earned with patience and grace.
Episode 2: The Wallet on the Ground. As Tina continued arranging her tomatoes, something caught her eye. Just beside her stall, resting on the dusty ground, was a brown leather wallet. She paused. Her hands froze mid-movement. Slowly, she leaned forward, her eyes fixed on it. No one else seemed to notice. The market buzzed on, unaware of the small moment unfolding. Tina's heart beat a little faster. She picked up the wallet gently and looked around. Her face showed curiosity, but more than that, integrity. She opened it slightly and saw money inside, a lot of it. For a brief moment, reality pressed in. That money could help her family. It could solve problems she never spoke about. But Tina closed the wallet. "This is not mine," she whispered. Her expression softened with resolve. In that moment, her character spoke louder than any words. She chose honesty, even when no one was watching. Episode 3: Honesty in Her Hands. Tina sat back down at her stall, holding the wallet carefully with both hands. Her face was calm, sincere, and steady. The tomatoes in front of her glowed red in the warm morning light, as if the world itself was holding its breath. She waited. Soon, a worried man rushed back through the market, patting his pockets, panic written all over his face. Tina stood up immediately. "Sir," she called gently, "are you looking for this?" The man's eyes widened as he saw the wallet. Relief washed over him. He took it, checked inside, and looked back at Tina in disbelief. "You returned it? Just like that?" Tina smiled softly. "It belongs to you." That simple act changed more than just one moment. It reminded everyone nearby that honesty still lived in the world, and sometimes it sat quietly behind a small tomato stall. And so Tina's story began, not as a girl who became rich overnight, but as a young woman whose integrity opened doors she never expected. Episode 4: The Man Who Returned the Wallet. Days passed after Tina returned the wallet, but the memory of her honesty lingered like the golden morning light over the market. She continued her work, arranging her tomatoes and greeting customers with the same gentle smile, unaware that her small act of integrity had not gone unnoticed. One afternoon, as the sun hung high in the warm sky, a familiar figure appeared at the edge of the market. It was the man, the one whose wallet she had returned. He walked with purpose this time, no longer distracted, no longer in a rush. His eyes scanned the stalls until they landed on Tina. "Are you Tina?" he asked, a polite smile tugging at his lips. Tina nodded, slightly surprised. "Yes, that's me. Can I help you, sir?" "My name is Kareem," he said, bowing slightly in respect. I've been looking for you since that day. I wanted to thank you properly and also offer you something." Tina tilted her head, curious but cautious. "I run a food distribution business," Kareem continued. "We supply fresh produce to hotels, restaurants, and markets across the city. I was impressed with your honesty and the care you take with your tomatoes. I want to partner with you, buy your produce regularly, help you grow your business, and ensure your work gets the recognition it deserves." Tina's heart skipped. She had never imagined something like this. Her humble stall, her small crate of tomatoes, could be the start to something bigger, not because she sought it, but because she had chosen the right path. I don't know what to say," Tina murmured, a mix of surprise and gratitude in her voice. "You don't need to say anything," Kareem replied kindly. "Just continue being who you are. That's more valuable than anything else." As he left, Tina looked at her tomatoes, her small table, the bustling market around her. She realized that life had a way of rewarding courage and honesty in ways no one could predict. From that day on, Tina's stall thrived, not just because her tomatoes were fresh, but because her heart was pure. The market seemed brighter, more alive, and filled with a sense of hope. And in Tina's gentle smile, anyone could see the promise of a future built on integrity, hard work, and faith in goodness.
Episode 5: Tina's New Opportunity. Days passed, and the market no longer felt the same. More people stopped at Tina's stall, not just to buy tomatoes, but to greet her, to smile, to say, "You're the honest girl." One morning, Tina noticed something different. Her tomatoes sold out faster than usual. By midday, her table was almost empty. Just then, the man returned again. This time, he didn't come in a hurry. He came with purpose. "I've been thinking about you," he said. "Your honesty stayed with me." He looked at her small stall, then at her tired hands. "You deserve a chance to grow." The next day, Tina arrived at the market to find more crates of tomatoes waiting for her. Better quality, more quantity. She had a larger table, a small scale, and enough stock to last the whole day. Tina's hands trembled as she touched the crates. "This is for me?" she asked softly. The man nodded. "Not a gift," he said, "an opportunity." From that day on, Tina's business began to grow, not because she cheated, not because she begged, but because integrity opened a door hard work alone could not. And as the sun set behind the market stalls, Tina smiled, not because she was rich, but because she finally saw a future she could walk into with dignity. Her journey had only just begun.
The market had changed, and so had Tina. Her small stall had grown. More crates, more customers, more trust. Every morning she arrived, the sun spilling golden light across her tomatoes. She arranged them carefully, as she always had. But now there was something different in her eyes. Confidence, purpose, hope. The man who had first noticed her honesty, he had become more than a helper. He became a mentor, a guide, a reminder that sometimes good people find the doors they deserve. Tina learned to manage her stall, organize her produce, and even help other small sellers nearby. Her hands, once tired from struggle, now moved with skill and pride. And the customers noticed. They smiled at her, they respected her, they trusted her. Not just because her tomatoes were fresh, but because Tina was genuine. Each day she rose earlier, worked harder, and smiled brighter. Every coin earned was proof that honesty, patience, and determination could build a life worth living. The market was no longer just a place to sell tomatoes. It had become a place where Tina was known, respected, admired. And as the sun set behind the bustling stalls, Tina looked ahead. Not just at the market, not just at the tomatoes, but at a future she was creating with her own 2 hands. Her journey wasn't finished. It was only beginning. Tina had risen, and she would rise even higher. Episode 7: The Man Marry Tina. The market had seen her honesty, her hard work, and her rise. It had witnessed the girl who began with a small table of tomatoes, now standing confidently behind a thriving stall. The man who first returned the wallet, the one who believed in her integrity, he approached her again. But this time, it wasn't about business. It was personal. "Tina," he said softly, looking her in the eyes, "I have watched your journey, your honesty, your kindness, your courage. I cannot imagine my life without you in it. Will you marry me?" Tina's heart raced. She looked at him, then at her market, her customers, her friends, all the lives she had touched simply by being herself. A smile spread across her face. "Yes," she whispered. The market seemed to pause for a moment. Even the sun seemed to shine brighter over the tomato stalls. It wasn't just a promise between two people. It was a celebration of honesty, patience, and the life Tina had built, a life full of respect, love, and hope. And so the girl who once sold tomatoes from a small table became a woman whose integrity opened doors to love, partnership, and joy. Her story continued, not just in the market, but in life itself.